Bashim Hawashai, Bashim Hakudash. I want to say double honors, Ty Elders, our great apostle, great minister on GMS, who rule well and teach me of being great example to Israel. All right, mighty elect, I want to say peace and blessings to the hope of the elect on the four corner, listen to truth and sincerity. All right, that great song that you brought in the bar just come with another live installment of radio station Edification. So like I'm trying to get through the traffic. Come on, man. Glad. Yeah, but another installment of radio station Edification. I'm gonna tune it in. Lord willing, y'all brothers be edified. Just take the meat from the bones. All right, it's another listening to the children complaining of an ungodly father. All right, and how the whistleblowers. All right, as a sign of their tongue should fall upon themselves, if we continue to see and listen. All right, to these Edomites, really bring out the truth. You know what I'm saying? The fact of what's really going on in the society and the world today. It's just the Lord have given us the spirit to, apply it. All right, the understanding according to the scriptures, the events that we seeing, all right, being shown in the earth. So, like I say, y'all brother, sister, take the meat from the bone.
You try to use that political capital to implement a regulatory structure for crypto, ironically, that would have better served his business. That's kind of how you have cartels sort of develop, is through the help of powerful people in powerful positions. But then there's the other element of this is the extent to which ultimately the kind of underlying behavior here.
Yeah, only for education purposes, only for use. Like
the investment side of things, which is ultimately what Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty of, right? They took customer funds deposited with FTX and started funneling them into Alameda Strategies, the investment part of that business. There's a lot of similarities with the way the modern financial sector works, the way the modern banking system works, with a fractional reserve banking system, where you go to their bank account, you deposit your money, the bank is able to lend out a large percentage of the money that you have deposited. There are very clear contractual differences there. The terms of service for FTX is not supposed to allow this, whereas if you actually read the fine print of your agreement with the bank, that is there. But ultimately, that dynamic is why we have bank runs. This is why there's always a layer of instability that exists within the modern banking system. And ultimately, what sparked the downfall of FTX ultimately was people kind of catching on, people sharing on social media, people reporting, leading to depositors requesting their money. That same dynamic is kind of what brought down Evergrande Bank, and as a constant threat that various very important, very powerful people in the financial world, they're kind of looking at trying to limit what can be said on social media, because once you have that break of confidence of people catching on to this idea that firms may not have all money that you want whenever you want it. Again, there's some parallels here between what Sam Bankman-Fried did with FTX and the way that a lot of the traditional financial sector operates. And I think Americans need to recognize that these are part of the risks that regulators allow for the traditional banking sector that ultimately brought down what FTX was doing with the way that they were treating customer funds.
And so this is why this is all fascinating. So is the difference between what happened with FTX versus the traditional bank lending, how the laws allow for this, the difference here and why there was fraud is because of just the misrepresentations that FTX and Bankman-Fried made to their customers versus maybe just the disclosures and the fine print of traditional lending institutions?
Yes. So ultimately, this is why Sam Bankman-Fried, while the executives of Evergrande Bank are not, right? In the case of Evergrande Bank, you had the FDIC come in, you had banks come in, right? You had kind of, a bailout dynamic. With that, the people that lost their jobs, so they're not going to jail. Whereas with sort of parallel infrastructure within the crypto industry, they don't have those sort of protections. And good, I'm not a big fan of those things. And that is why Bankman-Fried is getting the criminal aspect to it. But again, the instability aspect, though, is something that is true for both. And again, just how modern finance operates right now.
which is just wild. So, so what should we learn as conservatives through this story and kind of the bigger picture of how banks work currently and what maybe needs to change in the regulatory regime?
Well, I think the biggest thing is appreciating the extent to which the modern financial system, I think, really is the problem with a lot of the larger economic issues we have, because this dynamic of being able to create new credit, which is what banks do.
It's it. Bingo. It's it. Create new credit.
It creates a dynamic in which corporate consolidation. It helps fuel economic inequality, and what I mean by that is the people that are the biggest benefactors of being able to utilize this new credit, they tend to be more powerful individuals in the economy. They tend to be favored industries, right? So this is why Silicon Valley thrives. This is why manufacturing, the Rust Belt has declined. Is that this entire dynamic of being able to create credit out of thin air is drive, this financialization has helped drive, I think, a lot of the concern of kind of the real economy, and has helped profited the financial economy, and cryptocurrencies, I think, can be an aspect of that. I think it's also relevant to understand what separates FTX from other things like Bitcoin, for example. There was an attempt to kind of the entire crypto industry with the broad whereas the real issue with FTX is the performance of the FTC tokens for that exchange. It shows the way.
Alright, you know what that mean. But yeah, so you know what it's going into. We're dealing with the money system. But they got this CBDC. It stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. And that's why they're bringing up the host of the Bitcoin. All right? But we understand the agenda of their one world order. All right? And that currency, that new currency, what he was speaking of is going to be dealing with the charagma. All right? Which lead in prophecy. We see, all right, the headings, all right, of the so-called white man plans, man. Central bank digital currency. See, what's going to happen is it's going to be a cashless society. And everything going to be done by digital. Out then as it continue, all right, everything going to shut down. You're going to make a fault in the earth, all right, and that's what that charagma is going to be the new way to buy or sell, or trade, or even to have substance, all right, in America, and this is by the way he's doing it, all right. He laundering the money through the banking system, all right, and then also overbinding them. That's why you got a lot of banks closing. This is all the hands and the works of Satan. This is the plan. This is the agenda for that NWO, which lead up to Revelation 13 and 15, which I'm going to grab real quick. All right, this is Revelation 13. All right, 13 to 10. Well, I'm going to start at 15. Like this Revelation 13 to 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right? And the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many without worship the image of the beast to be killed. And then kill are going to be separated. All right? X'd out. All right? Being excluded, all right, from the currency of Babylon, how you gonna be able to buy and sell. You basically gonna be like an outcast. And some will, be killed. But it also said in verse 16, it's like the heart in the hole. Oh Lord, when y'all can hear me? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it says, verse 16, and he calls it all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You know? Who is that he calls it? All right, the elite, the banking family. All right, the biblical name going to Edom. All right, Esau. All right, because the earth was given to who? The hand of the wicked. How do you know that? All right, according to Job 9:24. All right, and we can go back. All right, into that blessing. All right, which was given by the Heavenly Father through Isaac. All right, when he was going to have the fatness of the earth and the door of heaven, and by the sword, all right, he was going to live. All right, he was going to put a yoke of iron around his brother's neck. All right, we lived in that prophecy. All right, we living in the time when he got the fatness of the earth, the door of heaven. All right, so he the one that got the right to pass laws. You see, Daniel 7:25 says that he have time to change laws. All right, and time, and they're gonna be put in his time. I mean, in his hands, a time to buy the time, which is going into the 350 years. Man. You know, this so-called white man, all right, is the wicked. The Bible speaks of it. So he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, to receive the prerogative. You see that? So going back to that digital currency, all right, which they're trying to put in the form of Bitcoin, all right, that's the main objective. All right, the prerogative, which you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell, you know, without it. There's plenty of movies. There's a lot of movies coming out, all right, showing you the agenda, you know. You even got Edomites exposing this devil. This right now is a motherfucker. But it says, in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, and you got a lot of people want to trip up like, what if I ain't got no right hand? All right, it's gonna be a incision cut in your flesh, whether it's by your arm, your forehead, even in your ass. All right, guess what? You ain't gonna be able to buy or sell if you don't have it. All right, and many gonna fall victim, all right, to that. Right? Why? Because of the lack of bread, the lack of water, the lack of resources, and what? The lack of faith. And that's basically what it is, man. Because you gotta believe, all right, that Yahweh is. You know, you gotta believe that He a provider. You see, Isaiah 50. I went to Isaiah 55. My servant shall eat, my servant shall drink, my servant shall rejoice. All right, we got to believe in that time to come, known as Jacob trouble. All right, the Lord going to take care of us, man. But we have done our works in faith. All right, the way say He not forgetful. All right, to forget your works and your labor of love, which you have shown unto Him. All right, so in the time of trouble, they're going to be payout time, man. You know, that's going back to the true definition of prosperity, prospering. You know, because we're going to really prosper in the time of Jacob trouble. We continue, all right, to please Yahweh Shema Shah. You know, why these so-called Christians, all right, thinking they prospering. You see, the Lord going to show them true prosperity, man. We just got to continue in the faith and believe. You know, because it's impossible to please Yahweh Shema Shah, all right, understanding what this devil got in plan. They're the only one we're going to have to rely on. Who else can save us out of the hands of this fucking devil, man? Yahweh Shema Shah. You see? So, that'll be it for the time, Lord willing. Y'all brothers and sisters edified, man. And Barakah Tawab. All right, to you brothers and sisters on the coming board and you brothers listening. And may the Lord continue to bless your day.